Hello everyone and welcome to day 1 on the Disney Dream.
We are so excited to be back cruising with Disney Cruise Line again. It seems like it has been forever since we took a cruise, and it kind of has because it was 2018 last time we cruised, and then 2019 we were living in the resorts for an entire year at Disney World, so we didn't cruise for that. And then 2020 happened and we had 3 cruises canceled, so we're just happy to be back on a ship again and taking a cruise. And it's a new experience for us too, because it's a 4-night, and we've only ever done 7-night cruises before, so it'll be interesting to see the shorter itinerary. And it's a new itinerary for us because it is a Castaway Cay double dip. We're taking 2 days at Castaway Cay instead of the normal 1. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's my favorite stop generally on the itinerary in the Bahamas anyway. So to get to go there twice should be a lot of fun. We got up early this morning and one of us at least had to pack because he may be a serial packing procrastinator that packs the day of every time we go, anywhere. So
it's too stressful for me.
I had to pack everything up, but honestly I can't really focus on packing more than like the night before at best, so whatever, it always works out. I got my stuff packed up, and before we headed out the door we took a couple minutes to make some little goodie bags for the cruise. On our 4-night sailing, we do have a pirate night, and we like to make up these little pirate treasure or pirate's booty bags that we put together just to give to the kids on the ship who are dressed like pirates. It's only a couple dollars on Amazon to get the coins and the gems, the little baggies. It's a lot of fun to pass them out too because the kids are acting like pirates and talking like pirates, and then they get pirate treasure and they're pretty excited. So we're really happy to be able to take these and give them out to the kids on pirate night in a few days.
And honestly, I'm not sure who loves it more, the kids or us, because we love handing these out. They're so much fun. They're just little gifts. There's nothing major to them, but it's something fun they can take home, and it just puts a smile on their face right then because someone gave them something for free.
We loaded everything up in the car and drove out to Port Canaveral. Of course, we are in driving distance, so we just drive out there and park versus trying to figure out some type of shuttle or Uber or anything like that. Parked at the parking garage where we do have to pay in advance for our parking, but it was $85 for the 5 days that we're here, so not too bad. And then we headed over onto the ship. We did have to arrive in a very small window for our port arrival time. Of course, you can arrive late, you just can't come before your window opens up. And we headed on into the terminal where we had to register and get through security and all that good stuff to get onto the ship.
When we finally made it through and into the terminal, they did have a model ship there. It's not the Disney Dream, it's actually the Magic, but it was still really cool to see all the little details because these ships are just amazing. All the little details they include, and so just to see like a model up close is really awesome. But in true Disney fashion, there was also a photo stop, and because we are who we are, we had to stop and take a picture because I love taking pictures when we get the opportunity, especially when it means it's not a selfie, it's actually a picture of the two of us that someone else took. And Disney is really trying to encourage more picture spots because that means you'll buy the picture package. Spoiler alert, we bought the picture package because we're not even on the ship yet, we're already taking pictures, so it just makes sense. And then we waited in line because our boarding group had already been called. We had a very early one, which was great. So we got in the line, and the boarding did take longer than we remember it, but that is because they are trying to distance everyone. So it was just kind of a process, just kind of wait. Honestly, we're in the air conditioning, it's really hot outside, so we're just gonna stand here until it's our turn. And then we finally made it through onto the ship.
Disney Dream, please welcome the Snippets family.
Disney Dream, please welcome one of the Karaoke family.
Now, our shipboard family has been working tirelessly to ensure every detail is taken care of, so that your family can experience the magic that is Disney. It's time to let the fun begin. Captain, take it away.
After the little welcome party they had there, we hopped into an elevator to go all the way to the top deck. Our staterooms are not ready yet because we're on the ship a little bit early. They're going to be ready around 2 o'clock, they said. So we're going to go get some food. We're on the ship. We get unlimited food while we're here, and we're going to start it off early because we love eating on the cruise ship. We headed up to deck 11, and right there as you come out of the elevator, you have Flo's V8 Cafe, which has several different windows there of quick service food. Alyssa got herself a slice of pizza as well as a bowl of fruit, but they have all kinds of other options like burgers and hot dogs and sandwiches and stuff like that. I didn't want any of that. I knew we were going to go over to Cabanas where they have all you can eat buffet food there. Now it's not technically buffet, it is kind of cafeteria style where they serve you, but you get to point out what you want and it's all unlimited. So I let Alyssa get her pizza and fruit, and I was ready to go over to Cabanas and eat. She did also get some food in Cabanas because it all looked so good. They had so many options. It is a little bit more of a limited menu than it used to be, but there are still plenty of options to choose from. I absolutely loved the lamb and the beef that they had today. It was amazing, and they also had crab legs and shrimp, which was great. And of course they had salads and fruit and breads and all kinds of different things. I just didn't know what to pick, so I picked a little bit of everything.
We both sat and enjoyed our meal and actually went up again just to see if there was anything else we wanted. But we have to save room for dessert because that is one thing Disney does so well is their desserts. And they have an entire display of just row after row of amazing desserts. I got the Oreo cheesecake, and this was much lighter and much less sweet than I anticipated it being, which means it was perfect. Because a lot of times when you get cheesecake, it is so sweet, especially when they add that Oreo. This was really light, and I really liked this.
And I got myself a scoop of ice cream because it's real ice cream here in Cabanas during lunch. Out on deck, they have the soft serve all the time, but I prefer real ice cream when I can get it at least. After we finished eating and they took away our plates and everything, it was about time for our staterooms to be ready. There's no kind of notification in the app or anything like that. You just have to go down and see if the doors into the stateroom hallway are open. If they're open, then your rooms are ready. So we headed down to our room, and there's a little bit of a different procedure now. Our Key to the World cards were actually up above our door on the little clip instead of given to us when we got on the ship. So we took the envelope that had the cards and tried to open the door, and it actually didn't work. They have some type of RFID blocking in that envelope, I guess, because it wouldn't let us open the door without tearing open the envelope and getting our cards out, which we thought was kind of cool that it's actually tamper-proof since they are kind of leaving the keys to the doors sitting out there in the hallway outside your room. We went inside the stateroom, and we have a very large stateroom this time. Normally we just have like an ocean view, maybe an inside stateroom, but this is a deluxe ocean view family stateroom with a veranda, so it's got a little bit more space in the room, and it's got the veranda out there. It's our first time in this exact type of room, and we're very excited to see it. And we're very excited to do our very first stateroom tour on a Disney cruise ship. We've only done room tours at Walt Disney World and Hilton Head and Vero Beach. We've never done one on a cruise ship, so this was a really cool experience for us. And then we have a small nightstand on the side of the bed. The one on this side has an alarm clock that is set to ship time, and it does have some USBs built into it. And there's a secondary plug underneath there, so you have a few places to plug up your devices over here. There's a small drawer there as well as the light, and the light has little Mickey heads cut out of it, and it also shows the location of the different Disney parks around the world, like Disneyland, Disney World, Disneyland Paris over on this side, and then also the Disney cruise ships with the Magic over there in Europe, the Fantasy and the Dream here in Florida, and then the Wonder out there on the West Coast. And if you could see around the other side, it actually shows some of the parks over in Asia as well. And if you'd like to watch that entire stateroom tour, it is linked down in the description and up there in the corner. And as soon as we were done with our tour, we had actually arranged a few other cabin tours as well. If you're ever going to go on a Disney cruise, there is generally going to be a Facebook group or 2 or 3 that have been started for your sailing, and you can join those Facebook groups and connect with people who are going to be on your cruise. Well, before this cruise, I did just that, and I said, hey, is there anyone who'd be willing to let us come and do a stateroom tour of your room before we all kind of get moved in and unpacked and everything, so I can put it on our YouTube channel? And several people piped up and said, yes, if you'd like to come do it, we'd be happy to have you. So we went out and started doing room tours for several different cabins here on the ship. We actually got 3 different categories in a row and did stateroom tours for all of them, and you can find all of those links down in the description below. We won't take time to go through them all here, but there are some pretty unique rooms in there that I was really happy we got to tour.
One of the really cool things about sailing on a Disney cruise specifically is the amazing friends you'll meet and make while you're on the ship, but that actually starts before you ever get on the ship in those Facebook groups. You'll get to know people before you ever get on the ship, and it's really cool to meet them in person while you're here. So we actually knew a couple of the people before we actually met them in person, so it was really nice to thank them for allowing us to do these room tours, and of course getting to know them a little bit and seeing the really different rooms that they have on a Disney cruise, because some of these are so different from the others, and it can be really hard to tell which one's which when you're trying to book online. And so we really appreciate that we were able to do some of these room tours so we can help more people when they're trying to book a cruise as well.
But all of those stateroom tours, well, they worked up an appetite. We burned off all the food. You know, we're on a cruise. I feel like we need to fuel up and eat some more. So we headed back up to Deck 11 to the quick service Flo's V8 Cafe. I got a couple slices of pizza, and Alyssa got the turkey and cranberry sandwich. We sat down and ate that for a couple minutes while we were waiting on another friend of ours. She was eating at the same time. We went and found her so we could eat with her. And then we headed down to her room to do one final cabin tour of another category. So a total of 5 different stateroom tours while we're on this, counting our own room. Very happy we got to see so many different categories and so many different rooms. And once we finished with the tour in her room, we knew we had to head outside to Deck 4, because on the cruise ship, you have to attend muster on every single cruise, because that's where they go through all the emergency procedures and show you where you're supposed to gather if there is an emergency. But with all the changes on the ship, it's a little bit different now, and you don't have to do it at a specific time all as one big group. Now you use the app and just show up at any point before a designated time and scan the sign to show that you checked in there, and they have a little video you can watch that they also play in the staterooms on the TV. This was such a great experience compared to the previous version of muster. I really hope this is a permanent thing, because you can go whenever you want. There's no certain time you have to be there. You can watch the video on your own time. It's so much easier than trying to deal with getting there at a certain time while everyone's trying to crowd through the same door, all getting out to the deck and then crowding back in after it's over.
Once that was done, we did head back to the room and got ready, because we are going to the play tonight. They do have plays here on board on the Disney cruise ships that are specific to the Disney cruises. You can't see them anywhere else. Now, we are not allowed to take any pictures while we're in here, no video whatsoever. This was actually really sad, because we went to the play. It was Beauty and the Beast, and we knew that was the play. We went to it. What we did not know is this is based on the live action, not on the cartoon. So all the costumes, some of the songs, those are all from the live action, which was amazing. We ended up on the front row to watch this play, and we had characters right in front of us, and I so badly wanted to take a picture because they did such a great job, and it was so cool to be that close to them. So this is my tip for you: as long as you're comfortable sitting on the side. We weren't in the front middle, we were the first 2 seats on the side right there. We asked the cast member if we could sit towards the front. She was like, well, if you want to sit in the middle, we can't put you towards the front. We're like, no, we're fine to sit on the side. So we asked, and she was able to put us on the very first row. So people who were there before us sat much further back than we did, and we were able to see facial expressions, see the special effects, and the projection mapping in this play is amazing. The Imagineers took all the things they have learned from doing it on the castle and basically created this amazing play. So if you were ever on the Disney Dream, you must take time to see this play. Right now, they're only doing 2 plays. Normally they do a different one every single night, but there is limited capacity. We were all spread out. So they did Beauty and the Beast, and then they did Believe, which we'll go see tomorrow, and then they did Believe and then Beauty and the Beast. So if you don't get to see it the first night, don't fret, they will do it again, and so you'll be able to see it then. But definitely take time to see this, because it was just amazing, and we both left the theater so impressed.
As the play was wrapping up, we could tell the ship was starting to shake and vibrate a little bit, which meant the engines had started up, and they did tell us that we were getting underway. So we quickly headed up to the top deck because we wanted to see as we sailed away. There's no Sailaway deck party right now because there's no way to have everybody on deck at the same time, but there weren't really a lot of people up there anyway, so we went up and found a spot to kind of hang out and watch as we sailed out, and had a beautiful sunset directly behind the boat. It was so awesome. So we just enjoyed being up there as the boat sailed away and out of the port. We're sailing away! Bye! As we continued out to sea, we just walked around on the top deck, taking lots of pictures of the ship and a lot of pictures of the sunset, and just enjoying being out there in the open air with the breeze from the ship now moving. It was so much fun and so relaxing. We stayed out for a few more minutes, but we knew we had to head back to our stateroom to freshen up for dinner with that second seating. It's almost time for us to go eat. We got back to our stateroom and the Turndown service had already come through with the stateroom host setting everything up for us, including a little towel animal and some chocolates on the bed, which it's always fun to come back and find this towel art. Even though you've kind of seen some of the same animals before, it doesn't matter. It's always a lot of fun to find.
Once we got ready for dinner, we headed down to the atrium because we want to get some pictures before dinner, but we got stopped because we saw Goofy, and of course someone had to stop and take pictures and video of him.
Yeah.
So we got to see him and talk to him for a few minutes. After chatting with Goofy for just a little bit, we did go down to the main lobby area, the atrium, and they had princesses out. They were out just talking to the guests. So we got to see them, take some pictures, take some video. They had Jasmine, Ariel, and Rapunzel, and I just love seeing the princesses. The app tells you that there are characters at certain locations, but it doesn't tell you which characters you're gonna find. So it is a nice surprise. I mean, on the one hand, I would like to know if I want to go down there and see the character, but on the other hand, I am surprised every time I go because I don't know who's gonna be there. So we got to see them, but the main reason we are here early before dinner is we wanted to get some pictures ourselves, and they do have these amazing backdrops set up. So we went to all three of them, and all the backdrops are different, and these are basically professional photos that they're taking. They do pose you when you get there, and one of my favorite things about this is we are allowed to take our masks off. They have set up a whole system where as soon as we are back by the backdrop, we can take our mask off, they'll take the pictures, and then we put it back on. So I was very excited because we get professional photos where we're not wearing a mask, we can smile, and most of our photos are selfies because it's just the two of us. So to have pictures that someone else took is just so nice. So we took tons and tons of pictures, some silly ones, which makes the photographers laugh every time because they take these really nice photos all night long, and then there's us and we're just crazy.
We just goof off. And all those photos are included with the USB that we're going to get at the end of the week with all of our pictures, so we may as well stop every time we see a photographer and try to get pictures, including the one on the grand staircase there, which I will say, the picture on the grand staircase feels kind of weird if it's not formal night and you're not all dressed up, because you're like wearing, you know, regular cruise clothes and you're standing on this fancy staircase, and there is no formal night on the 4-night cruise, so it's just like, well, I'll just take a picture in my cruise clothes on the stairs then. After that last picture, we did head into dinner in the Royal Palace restaurant right there behind the staircase, and I was very excited for this because as we walked in, we noticed there was a violinist and a pianist right there in the middle of the restaurant playing music, and we love eating anywhere that has live music. They're both so talented as we heard them playing as we walked through, and they're here all week long on the ship, so we're gonna have to make a point to go and try to find them later.
They played the entire time we were eating dinner, and it was just beautiful and so enjoyable to listen to. But now it's time for some food. We're very excited. We're also very hungry because it's been several hours since we've eaten.
It's terrible. It's been like
pathetic.
3 or 4 hours. I mean, we're basically dying over here.
We started off with the bread service, which was the herb brioche. This was a really light, fluffy, very flavorful bread, which was really nice. It was served with olive spread, which honestly did not taste good with this. We did not like it. So we just ate the bread because we really did enjoy the bread. I started off with the duck confit with cranberries and walnuts. This was very, very good. The cranberries were nice and sweet, which gave it a nice sweet flavor with the salty duck. And I really liked this. This was a great start to this amazing meal.
I knew what I was going to order as soon as I looked at the menu because I saw a staple for Disney Cruise Line on the appetizer list. It is the breaded fried brie, and this is one of my favorite things to get on the cruise. I usually order a double helping of this because it is so good. It comes with this cranberry sauce that is perfect with it. I seriously love this dish, but I didn't order two today because I was afraid I would eat too much of it and not be able to eat my dinner because everything else looked really good on the menu too. I also got some soup with the French onion soup that was really tasty, and as I finished off the bread part that was on top, I realized that we had some really good bread at the table that would probably be good in the soup as well, and it was. So I used that to finish off the soup.
And then it was time for the main course. I got the pasta with buttered lobster. Oh my goodness, this sounded amazing. This is what our server recommended, and it was delicious. The combination of flavors were so good. This was exactly what I was in the mood for tonight. I was so glad I got it. But this is a Disney cruise and this is all you can eat. So I also got the roasted rack of lamb. Now I did ask them not to bring the sides because I knew I couldn't eat those. I try not to order too much food because if I know I'm not gonna eat it, then I don't wanna waste it. So they did bring that out, and this was amazing. I had Robert try it because it was so good. I'm like, you have to try this. It was delicious. Everything we had tonight was phenomenal.
I don't normally care for lamb very much, but this really was some of the best I've ever had.
Yes.
I don't know what they put on the outside of it, that kind of green crust on there, but it was delicious. And I decided to get the roasted beef fillet, which was cooked perfectly. I could actually cut this with a fork. I didn't even need the knife. Came with some potatoes and green beans, but I honestly barely touched the potatoes and green beans because the beef itself was so good. I actually thought about asking for a couple more pieces of the beef because it was so good, but I knew I wanted to save room for dessert because dessert sounded really good too. So I decided not to have more beef. I'm just gonna let it be with 2 pieces, and I ordered 2 desserts because I can. I got myself a souffle, which was delicious, really rich, but really good. And I got the opera cake. It had amazing coffee flavor in that. Of course, if you don't like coffee, it would be absolutely terrible. So Alyssa didn't try any of it.
Nope.
But I really enjoyed this. This was like the perfect ending to the meal because it was almost like having coffee and cake at the same time.
And I actually didn't order dessert. Nothing sounded great to me. They didn't really have some chocolate options that looked good to me. And I was really full. I ate so much of the pasta and the lobster and the lamb, and I'm glad I did because they tasted amazing. So I really didn't want dessert, so I just sat there while Robert ate. And I did start to get a headache while we were on the ship. I'm not sure if it was the movement. So I was sitting there and I'm like, no, I don't need to add sugar to the headache. That's definitely not gonna help me right now. But I did enjoy the meal. Afterwards, we headed out, and when we did, we saw Daisy and Donald out there waving, playing with a kid. It was so cute. The kid was trying to give Donald the toy he had, and Donald was trying to catch it, and it was just the sweetest interaction. It's one of those things we've really missed from not seeing characters for so long, because seeing these interactions, seeing someone else be happy, this little kid, makes us happy. It makes us smile, and so we absolutely loved it. We headed back to the room, and I still had a headache, and I did take some stuff, but it just wasn't going away. So I decided to rest for the evening because I didn't really want to go out and be around noise or anything. But I didn't want to stop Robert from going and enjoying things because we had planned on going out after dinner to see some of the entertainment, so he headed out instead.
I went down to the district where all of the nighttime entertainment is for the adults, and they had a game going on called Snippets, where they play a quick snippet of a song from either a TV show or a movie, and you have to name what the show or movie was. And if you got it right, you did win a little tech tattoo, which is basically a sticker of Disney Cruise Line.
Okay, let's get one last TV clip. The other easy one. See Robert.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I got all right. What is your name, my dear? Carla. And Carla, are you from St. Louis, Missouri as well? Where is this from? Pink Panther. There we are. All right.
So they were doing that, and I almost had a couple of them, but I wasn't the first one to get my hand up, so didn't win anything, but enjoyed playing with some friends that we met there at the game. And then they started up with the karaoke, which is the real reason I went down there. I wanted to see how karaoke went, and It went like karaoke usually does. Some people had a lot of fun and some people were really good. So it was really cool to see a few people get up there and have the courage to actually sing. I was afraid nobody was going to because when they announced it, nobody moved. But then people started getting up and signing up, and it was really fun to see some of them singing some of the songs that I was kind of surprised to see them sing, but they were really good.
These were so much fun to watch when Robert came back to the room. I'm really glad I didn't go because I did have the headache, but I love karaoke. I love the fun of it. Watching it, participating in it, it's just a lot of fun. And karaoke is just one of those things that like brings people together, and I love it because of that. So we did enjoy seeing these videos together after all of this. And that was the end of day 1 on the Disney Dream.